Hey YouTube, it's Sunday. Out, got my seat clamps in yesterday. They are made by Von Traeger, which is a Trek company. They stayed 40 millimeters right on the bottom of them, so they're exactly the same size of what's on here. They were $13.99. Well, let's just put it this way. I paid $39.99 with shipping, so disorganized sometimes. Really don't plan my videos. I come up with an idea and I execute right away, otherwise I may forget about it. So we'll take these off. These are quite a bit thicker than these. Probably double the size, but the problem is the bolt that's in here keeps coming loose. It's stretching, and this one is bent really good too, and it's about that far out. Karen's isn't even close to being this far out, so hers hasn't quite stretched as much as mine has. So I'm hoping, even though these are quite a bit thinner, that they will hold up better than those did. Sooner or later that bolt would snap. So make sure the only place I have grease on this now is on the outside of this tube, just so that it doesn't fall up. But we are going to put a little grease on this, and it will help the clamp actuate better. So we've still got the same thing. We have to line the got a mosquito chasing me. We still got to line up our slot just like the old one, and we're gonna try running no grease on this for now, just for a simple reason is on the seat tube is if it's not making noise, then you really don't have to worry about it. Get it out of here, mosquito. So this seat clamp, to get that tight enough, I had to use a pair of pliers. Well, as you can tell, this one's staying put better than the other one did already. Oh, where's my... Get this stuff out of here. I'll probably go for a bike ride, but I doubt Karen will. If it looks like it's gonna rain, she won't do nothing. Like, she's gonna get wet. And so I believe it's a 4. So let's see. Yep, it's a 4. So instead of have to screw up the end here, it has a 4 millimeter Allen head on this side here. So we'll tighten her up a little bit and move her where she needs to go. She needs to go a little higher, right there. on, and it isn't tight enough yet. So just call me Mr. Dropsy. So we'll try there. We're back up to number 4. And she's still not quite tight. If you can push the seat post, it's going to be a problem. I think that's tight enough. So these, like I said, were about 14 bucks a piece, and then there was about another $8 in shipping, and I bought these on trekbike.com. It's Trek's website, and I bought it directly from the company. You may be able to find this in a bike store. I'm going to tighten her up just a hair more and call her good. Make sure you don't screw up your Allen head. So there, as you can see, this is on here correct. The front of the skewer comes all the way around the front of the bike, and it's closer. It's actually closer to the bike. So we'll give her a test. I don't think she's gonna move, but for me, I was having problems with this sliding no matter how tight this other one was, whatever I did with it. There it is. Now, I could literally, if I find that the clamp isn't holding well enough, I could literally take the parts of this and put it on this, because it's pretty much the same setup. Well, not really, I guess, because this over here is curved, and on that it has a plastic deal. Now, the farther you get, the easier it is for it to clamp. So all the pressure is done at a different point than is on this one. So I'm hoping, I'm not going to throw these away, but they're going to go in the junk pile for now. These are a lot better quality, so I'm assuming we can count on them not stretching. I'm still going to do Karen's bike, but it is just the same as this one, so I'm not going to film that. Some people have asked me, and one of them is a channel subscriber, have asked me why I didn't just buy a more expensive bike. And the problem is when it comes to a folding bike, which I bought purposely because I knew that we would get an RV, which is sitting behind us. I didn't want, when I bought an RV, I didn't want to finance it. So it took us about a year to come up with the money. So the RV, the brand new RV sitting behind us, we don't own a penny on. the license plate's for the life of the vehicle, so literally it doesn't cost me a thing for it to sit there. Right now, we can't travel. There's just too many things right now that are keeping us from traveling. We could travel, but then we would have to come back on a moment's notice. So right now we're just saying to heck with it. If we travel this fall, it will be without the RV, because my experience is traveling in the wintertime is it's fine if you're going to go somewhere where the weather's better and stay there, but it's not so great if you decide that you want to come home and have to travel through snow and ice to get home, like we would have to in Michigan. Literally, we were not towing the RV last year, but we went out west, stayed until and needs to be tightened up a little bit. Stayed until what was it, late October, and had to head home pretty much on a moment's notice. And we got home, but it was no fun. We had about 600 or 700 miles where we were driving in ice. It was some places it was snowing, some places it was raining and icy. So we had a lot of issues getting home safely. So imagine trying to pull an RV through a storm like that. It's a nightmare. It would literally be a nightmare to do it. The RV would ice up, get heavier. The truck had a coating of ice around the bottom of it, probably pretty close to a half inch, maybe an inch, somewhere in between a half and an inch, all the way on up to the door handle. So it probably added 1,200, 1,300 pounds to the vehicle. But if we travel this fall, it'll be just it'll be later. I'm saying October, and we're going to take a tour around the U.S. in our truck, and we'll just stay in hotels and with friends and stuff like that, and see what we can see. I'll take you guys along. I'll do a better job of filming some of the places we visit. Last time we went to the Grand Canyon, I did a couple of videos, but I'm not sure we will take our bikes because we have a dog that doesn't like to ride on them, and we haven't solved that solution, come up with a solution for it yet. We tried a trailer and it was just too stressful for her. So what we're thinking is coming up with some kind of basket, but not for these bikes. It'll be on a new bike. For the front, and we're not worried about her jumping out. We're just worried that we don't want it to be too stressful. Now she's old. She'll be 13 here in a couple of months, and she's a family member. You don't go on a trip and leave your family member. You don't go out on a bike ride and leave your family member in a strange place. And she has stress seizures. We don't know. That's all we can attribute it to, is she gets too much stress and she has a seizure. So she's pretty important to us, you know. So travel plans have been kind of put off. So I've been working on my bike, and people are saying that you should have just bought a better quality bike. Well, I bought this bike for this purpose, to put it in the RV, because we knew we were going to get one. We wanted something that folded up, took less room. Folded up, it doesn't roll around like it would standing up, and we can put it in boxes and it fits in our RV just fine. Put them on those boxes behind me and roll them into the RV, the two of us, and we don't have a problem, or loading them in the back of the truck for that matter. But they're taller in the back of the truck than I have a bed cover on it, so I have to leave the bed cover rolled up. If you do that and it's going to rain, leave the handlebars up. Don't fold the handlebars down, because what's going to happen is water is going to fall on the backside of your display, and it's going to make a mess of it. It's going to get water in it. Now, you can seal them somewhere around over here. Let me move my scooter out of the way. That's an upcoming project too. So you can always use this window and door silicone and put it. I bring you up here where you can see. Whoa! Stay up there. I guess it's loose. So you could take the silicone. I don't even know if this is open. It should be. Oh, it is. And go right. I use rubber silicone and not this latex stuff on it when I put it back together. So you can do it there, put it in there. I can't get this to squeeze worth a bit, and that will protect it. So keep that in mind. I'd have to get a screwdriver, but I use some rubber silicone or some RTV when I put it back together, so it's sealed, but it's from sealed from the inside. But I'm still gonna do that, but not with that. I'll probably use some other stuff a little more expensive. Use that on the RV. So the bikes. So I bought this purpose built, and I knew that there were some things that I thought were kind of substandard. But in order to get a bike, a folding bike, there's only really, oh geez, didn't ever turn you back around. There's only really one bike out there that's folding that's even worth considering if you're thinking that you want to know holds barred electric folding bike is a Reese Mueller, and they're $5,500, $6,000. Well, I don't have that kind of money. There's some people out there that do. I just don't happen to be that guy. $6,000 is a lot of money for a bike, and especially for a folding bike. So I compromised. I said, well, Lectric's got some good reviews. The quality is okay, but what makes up the bike is bits and pieces mainly. So the Nico head stem was okay. Tektro brakes, I've had experience with them. They're okay, but in this case, Lectric, the manufacturer, whether it was Lectric or the company that built the bike, chinsed out. All Tektro brakes usually come with resin pads on them, so that was pretty much normal. But these brake rotors are the wrong size. They should have made sure that they worked properly with the bike. So what our problem is the pad isn't going down far enough on the rotor and clamping on the rotor. It's clamping on the upper edges of the rotor, actually about 1/8 of an inch. The pads are 1/8 of an inch taller than the rotor at least. So what we end up having is a lip on the pad, and you're not getting full contact on the rotor. And the back one is even worse than the front one. The front one's close at least, but the back one isn't close at all. So that's why we're upgrading the rotors. We're going to get the right rotors on the bike for this situation. Now, for a 20-mile-an-hour bike, it was marginal. The brakes were marginal, and I do mean marginal. When I put the new pads on them, they're better, but they might be adequate now. But not for a 28-mile-an-hour bike. Not for a bike that goes 25 with me on it. No, they are not good enough. So when I upgrade these to 1/880, I get more stopping power, better cooling, and they will be fine. After that, I'll look at replacing the cables. But the calipers themselves are fine. I would never consider putting some closed system hydraulic caliper on here, for the simple reason is it's a complication. These are the simplest brakes. They don't take much to adjust. The hydraulic ones, if you have a problem with a leak, which you eventually will, you got problems. Bleeding them requires special equipment. Even the ones that are high quality ones require special equipment to bleed them. Magura, I have experience with Magura brakes. I've had them before, and they're good quality. But and you can get, they're easier to bleed than what these cheap ones would be. So brakes work fairly well now, and when we get to 180 millimeter rotors on them, they'll be working even better. I got grips coming for both bikes. We went with blue ones. I chose Race Face, is a name brand. I've had Race Face products on my bikes from clear back into the early 90s. They're round. I'm getting rid of these palm rest things. My grips actually show quite a bit of wear where I've gripped them, but these are hard. They're as hard as tire rubber. They're not. They should be some give to them. I mean, you have to really squeeze them to give them. And a lot of people are having problems with carpal tunnel with these, and that's the way it is. So the bike, so I'm upgrading to things that for me, that work for me. People got to realize that a bike isn't one bike size fits all kind of thing. To get comfortable, here's where bike manufacturers should save money. 1, seats. 2, grips. You should not put anything on there but just a piece of junk seat, because 99% of the people are going to change it right away anyway. Look at the electric bike forums, and you'll see that everybody asks, what kind of seat should I use? The problem is with that question is no one can answer that except for the person that's riding. You can steer them in a direction and say, well, in my experience, this is going to fit you better than what some other seat will. So bikes fit is a real personal choice. So these grips, your seat, normally you'd have a stem that you could trade out and adjust your bars closer or farther away from you. General rule of thumb is when you look through the stem, which would be here, and down to the front hub, the stem and handlebar should obscure your front hub. If it doesn't, if it's in front of it, that means your stem's too short. If it's behind it, it means your stem's too long. Wait a minute. Behind? No, it's the other way. If it's in front of it, it's too long, and if it's behind it, it's too short. So but you can't do anything with this bike. You're stuck. The only thing you could do is buy different handlebars and hope to achieve what you need. But in the end, you haven't changed where the stem is. You just changed where your hands are. You might be able to get your bike fitting that way. You can adjust the seat back and forward, but not if you're using the old clamp. You're pretty much stuck. I have this adjusted all the way forward, which I'm probably going to change because I've noticed my hands have too much weight on them. So I'm going to slide that back, move my weight back a little bit, and see if that helps. Karen's the Cloud 9 seats, the rails on the bikes are really short on the seat, so it's kind of hard to adjust. So this is a specialized comfort seat. It's either a 150 or a 180. It has some cool features. You have a place back here that you can mount a light. It has some brass inserts in the seat where you can mount stuff. I think they have a special bag that they can mount back there if you need to carry tools. So that being said, I changed the chain already. Unfortunately, it'll probably been a waste of money. I should have just went and bought the 9-speed parts and upgraded the bike right away. I will do a video on that. It's maybe 25 minutes to do it. If that, take the handlebars off. Take the we got to take the grip off, the throttle, and the brake lever, and then the shifter. Well, you reuse the cable that's on it for right now, and run the shifter cable through this cable housing and down to the derailleur. Now, I'm not sure about the derailleur. It says 6-7 speed. It may be too sloppy for that chain to stay on it properly, so we'll see. But we're just not going to go buy. I'll buy one at the same time just so I have it on hand. But I'm not going to replace it unless it needs to. So these seat post clamps, I was just having problems keeping my seat up. That's the only reason we changed them. The ones that were on it was crap quality. These are better quality. I don't have to use. I don't have to carry a pair of pliers to tighten them up. They clamp better. All the force to clamp it is right here, and once you get like right here, it's easy to, so it's just already locked in once you get there. It has a plastic bearing for it to ride on, a 4mm Allen head screw on the inside. You can turn it with your fingers, but you're not probably going to get it tight enough, so you will have to use the Allen head screw. Weight-wise, it's a lot lighter than the other one, but that doesn't matter. So the upgrades I'm doing to this is to make this bike fit my needs, not anything else. If you don't want the bike is fine as it is, but when you get 300 pounds, there's things that this bike, even though they rate the bike to 330 pounds combined rider weight and cargo, I specifically asked Lectric if a 300-pound person could ride the bike, and they said as long as the cargo and the bike, the rider don't exceed 330 pounds. So, for those of you who are interested, as my bike sets right now, it weighs 72 pounds. So they're 63-pound. I don't know where they get that weight from. Maybe without the battery. I don't know. So, so the upgrades I'm doing are comfort and safety upgrades. The gearing sucks on this bike. I only have 3 usable gears as far as I'm concerned right now. And with the 9-speed, I'm going to have 4 or 5 usable gears, meaning that I can tune my gear to the terrain a little better than I can right now. And that's why we're doing the upgrade. Don't need to change front chain ring. It's plenty big enough. And I've talked about gear ratios and gear calculations and stuff like that. So I've rambled on. I hope I explained why I've done my upgrades. Some of them were cross grades. They really didn't upgrade anything, but some of them were safety things. And so I've put into the bike right now, I have $10 in, well, I have $5 into the pads. We'll call it $14 in the seat post clamp. So that's, we'll call it 20 bucks. This was, seat post was 26, so we're up to $46. Seat was 50 bucks. 96. Cell phone holder, $19.95. We'll call that 20, so we'll call it 116. Handlebars was $26, so now we're up to 152. Yeah, 152 or so, 142.52. Some mosquitoes are starting to come out. It's really humid today. Tires we won't count because you're just gonna have to change those in either way. But those are the upgrades I made. The chain is a maintenance item, so we're not gonna count that either. You get 2,000 miles out of a chain, you're doing good. I got 2,300 miles, and I probably should have changed it at 2,000 miles. So what else have we done? The bag was $19.95 on Amazon. So roughly I have about $150 into 165 or so, we'll say. The rotors I bought 2 pairs, was $43. So roughly $21.50 a bike. So we'll be in the 160 range. The adapter for the front rotor was not $7 a piece, but I'm not sure I need them. I don't know. I only bought adapters for the front. Those are marked 140, 160, and we have maybe the rotor will set up about 1/8 of an inch higher or so. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see where the rotor hits in the caliper. Right now I have, it's pretty close. So we'll see. I'm going to put the adapters on probably right away, and well, I'm going to put the rotor on first, and we'll slide it in there, and we'll see where the rotor sits in the caliper. But my guess is I'll have to use the adapters on the front. I bought 180 millimeter adapters, and the back has a 160, 180 millimeter adapter, and there's obviously more than enough room to put that in there. We're talking at least a 1/4 inch of space in there. So there's where we are. I thought I'd just have a Sunday talk, show you my Bontrager. They're listed on the website as 39.85, but they're actually 40 millimeters. Let me show you, so you guys, seeing is believing. Let me grab the one that was on it. And if you look right there, it says 40, and this one says 40. So they're listed as 39.85. So go on trekbike.com. I could not find them on Amazon. So good luck there if you're going to try to find them on Amazon. Uh, Let me show you uh, how bent that is. See, I could probably straighten that out, but it is definitely questionable quality, and it was already stretching way beyond what I would consider safe. Uh, it, just to get it tight enough to hold anything, just to hold the seat without it sliding, you're already to the edge of the deal. Karen's is not quite as bad, but this one was hard to clamp all the way till it was fully clamped, whereas this one is really easy once you get past the halfway point. Once you get there, you can push it that easily. Well, I'm going to call that a video. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you would like to know where I get my parts or anything like that, just ask. I'll tell you. I'll send you a link of what I bought. Other than that, have a great day.